Alright guys, welcome back into another NFL DFS video. Got the week 13 picks coming up for you. Last week was pretty nice, had a lot of good stacks actually. Quarterback plays that we all touched on did really well. Trubisky was, a lower price quarterback that did well. Obviously we had Sam Darnold and Baker Mayfield quite a bit. Stacked those two quarterbacks appropriately as well. So overall it was a great stacking week. And, cash-wise, it was a good week as well. Had DJ Moore and Jarvis Landry in the cash build. So, overall, it was a pretty solid week. Let's get into the player pool for this week. It should be a pretty decent one. It's a little bit more crazy compared to last week. So, it'll just be an interesting one as we're going through it. Last week it was pretty easy to spot out where we should be stacking. And this week is too. There's a couple of really easy spots. But after that, I think my player pool is pretty much just going to be pretty slim this week. All right, so starting off here with the quarterbacks. So the quarterbacks are going to be pretty easy to figure out who you want to play. Obviously, you could go with Lamar Jackson or Patrick Mahomes. I don't know if I'm going to go that route this time. I do want to mention, each and every week, Jameis Winston stacks. Just throw one out there with him, Godwin and Mike Evans, or just one or the other, and it's going to do well. Pretty plain simple there, but that's how it's been working. We got Sam Darnold here going against the Cincinnati Bengals. Already touched on it last week. Sam Darnold has been playing some great football recently. The stats have been there. The production's been there. It's going to be a solid play going against the Cincinnati Bengals. So that's another solid play for us this week. I'm going a little bit lower. You could go back to the well with Kyle Allen. I know I'm definitely going to do that as well. Played him the last month or so. So really been paying off the stack with him, Christian McCaffrey, and DJ Moore. That's a GPP stack that I really like doing once again this week. Nick Foles is going to be a great play. You can stack him pretty well with DJ Chark and or DD Westbrook. Pretty solid so far. The passing attempts are what we like to see, 48 and 47. Obviously, that's a little bit due to a gameful flow. Last week, he had 14 DK points, and that was without a touchdown. I do imagine he's going to score a touchdown or two in this one, so I do think 20 DK points is not too hard to imagine him getting this week. Going a little bit lower, actually a lot lower, we got Andy Dalton here, who's going to be starting once again, and Andy Dalton has been really solid this year, actually. So only one game under double-digit fantasy points, and under 4.6K, which is pretty much what he needs to do to hit value. And that was against the Baltimore Ravens, who are pretty solid defense. And then other than that, every other start has been at 18 DK points or more. So I really like Andy Dalton as a play this week going against the Jets. All right, so moving on to the running back spot here. Let's go up here. So Christian McCaffrey, obviously, just go ahead and play him at this point. You just keep playing him. Going against the Washington Redskins, if he doesn't dominate like he has been, it's going to be probably the most shocking thing of the whole year. He should definitely dominate. And I think we can go back to the well with Le'Veon Bell here. Le'Veon Bell's in a great spot once again, going against the Bengals. This is one where the Jets should be ahead, which should lead to a lot more rushes for Bell. He keeps getting work in the passing game, which we like to see. If he scores a touchdown, he could easily exceed that value. He is priced up a little bit to where we have to think about it this week, whereas last week we didn't. I do really like Aaron Jones as a GPP play going against the Giants. We know he has that huge, insane upside, but he also has that really low floor as well. So high ceiling, high floor play. Definitely a GPP play. Not sure we can play him in cash this week, but I do like to play. Todd Gurley and Melvin Gordon are priced appropriately, but I really do like Melvin Gordon. I think that this is a game that the Chargers are going to go out and win. He's been over 10 DK points in every game in the last month. He had that really nice stretch where he was dominating. And then they played the Kansas City Chiefs, where that was just a horrible game. I do expect this game against Denver to be a little bit better, and I wouldn't be surprised if Melvin Gordon scores 20 DK points once again. All right, going lower here. You definitely play Jonathan Williams here. Obviously, he's been really good the last 2 weeks. Tough to predict, usage, but I think they're just going to continue to roll with him. He has looked good. Don't mind that play, and I don't mind Ronald Jones as a GPP play as well. We know he's kind of been hit or miss, a little bit touchdown dependent. I've been going against the Jacksonville Jaguars, who have been just crushed against the run this year. I think Ronald Jones is going to be in for a nice, solid week again. At that price point, I do like him as a play this week. All right, so this week at the receiver spot, we do not have Michael Thomas on the main slate. So, maybe we think about Tyreek Hill here, who was, really quiet last game. That was mostly due to that injury. But before that, Tyreek Hill had been dominating. We hate the huge price bump, though, going against Oakland. That's a tough price point to pay up for. You could definitely play Chris Godwin, Cooper Kupp. The play that I want to play the most is going to be Devontae Adams going against the Giants, who have really struggled. And Devontae Adams, since he's been back, has been really solid. 11.1, 21.8, and 19.3 DK points. And, 10 targets in every single one of those games since he's been back. 7 receptions in both of those. I really like Devontae Adams. It's going to be a really solid play. Then DJ Moore, pretty much the whole year. Obviously, I really like DJ Moore as a play. You guys know the thing with DJ Moore. Just go ahead and play him. I don't mind him in cash, especially in that matchup there. DJ Chark is in a great spot. More of a GPP play. But, obviously DJ Chark has been a receiver number 1 this year at this price, but I really don't mind that given the matchup. You could easily stack him with Nick Foles. Jarvis Landry is still too cheap. I don't really get the price point. He's just not getting the price bumps at all, even though he keeps producing. So, Jarvis Landry, look at that game log. It's pretty spectacular. I don't mind that play. Don't love it, though. I think we can go a little bit cheaper. Devontae Parker is finally starting to get some respect price point-wise. All right, let's go lower here. So D.D. Westbrook is a play that I just really like at his price point. So 14.9 DK points last week. He returned the week prior to that. He saw 6 targets. So 9 targets last week as well. 15 targets in the last 2 weeks. This is a matchup that, the Jaguars should be able to dominate via the passing game. So really think D.D. Westbrook's going to be a strong play at 5K there. Then going a little bit lower, we kind of have to wait on some injury news. There is going to be some receiver value that opens up. We just don't know where it's going to open up just yet. Kind of got to wait and see on that news. So stay tuned for that. I'll be posted on the Patreon page. All right, so moving on to the tight end spot here. There's really only 2 tight ends that I think we should even pay for, and they're both on the same team. That's going to be Zach Ertz going against Miami. He should be able to dominate. We told you guys a few weeks ago that he was going to regress back to mean and that the schedule got better. That was against Chicago. Didn't really know what to expect from him going against the Patriots, and then going against the Seahawks. Had a little bit of him in that slate as well. So, I think he's going to still be a solid play. And, if he's getting these targets, those are elite target amounts right there, and which has led to him just dominating in DFS the last 3 weeks. So if he continues to get those targets, aka if those receivers are still banged up and out, Zach Ertz is a great play at that price point. All right, if Evan Ingram's in and, fully healthy, he's going to be a great play going against the Green Bay Packers. We saw them just get dominated by George Kittle on that night game. So Evan Ingram's been a pretty consistent producer in fantasy football pretty much his whole career, but especially this year. His lowest output was 1.6 points against Arizona, which was the real shocker. But other than that, it's been really solid. And, kind of safe production, but the targets have been there, pretty much every week as well. So I like him as a play. A little bit more risky. We do have Dallas Goedert here as well. Still going to be a safe play. 8 targets last week, only 9 DK points with 7 receptions. I mean, that's crazy. If you would have told me he had 7 receptions, I would have thought he would have been closer to 20 points DK-wise. But Jack Doyle is going to be the play that I like quite a bit. Eric Ebron's out, obviously, so that's going to create, a lot more targets for him. Should see at least 2 more targets, maybe 3. Either way, it's going to be right around 7 targets. We can assume that he's going to get 10 DK points this week. So I really like him as a play, especially in cash this week. All right, so finishing out kind of the thought process for the slate, I do think if we can pay up for the Carolina Panthers, we should. They're going against the Washington Redskins. We've known since pretty much preseason that Dwayne Haskins was not ready for NFL football. That's been proven time and time again. He's making a lot of mistakes. So, if you can pay up for the Carolina Panthers, do it. But still, don't go out of your way to do it. We have the Chargers at a fine price. Can go lower. I do like the Dolphins going against the Eagles. They're just so banged up. The Eagles are that. Once again, if we're paying for the Dolphins at 2.1K, we're paying for them not to go negative, and I think that's what we can get from the Dolphins at that price point. Maybe we can go with Oakland at 1.7K. Once again, you're just praying that they don't go negative. And they got beat up last week, but they still didn't go negative against the Jets. Obviously, the Chiefs are a much better team. I don't love that play, but you guys know the strategy there. That opens up your player pool quite a bit. And then obviously the Browns going against the Steelers. So Hodges did not look good. Honestly, he didn't look better than Mason Rudolph at all. He had one really good throw, and that was a touchdown throw to James Washington. Other than that, they both have looked pretty bad. He had some really kind of ugly throws, so I expect him to throw a couple of picks. Yeah, he might have a little bit more likelihood of scoring, but I really like the Browns' defense in this one. Obviously, they just posted 16 DK points against the Steelers a few weeks ago. This just seems like a mispriced defensive play, so I really do like the Browns this week as well. All right, that's all I have for you guys this week. If you enjoyed the video, please give me a like and subscribe. If you guys want to check out the NFL membership, got the sample lineup out there for cash and GPPs, got the stacks and player pool as well. So feel free to check that out. If not, just please give me a like and subscribe. I do appreciate it. Thanks, guys.